Being the ambassador of Canada to Greece is actually a great honor, and it's been a very fulfilling experience. The relationship between our two countries is not only warm and positive, but it's also based on strongly held common principles and values, such as the deep attachment to international law, human rights, the promotion of and the protection of democracy, and of our democratic institutions. The start of my mandate coincided with the 80th anniversary of the establishment of our diplomatic relations. And when I first arrived in 2022, I had for my main objective to see this relationship grow at the highest of levels of engagement. With my team in Athens, it's been a privilege to be part of this deepening of our relationship in very concrete ways. 2024 was a watershed year in our relationship, as Canada was honored to receive Prime Minister Mitsotakis to Montreal and Toronto for a 4-day visit, catalyst for many deliverables and collaborations between our two countries. And it was wonderful for me to witness firsthand our two prime ministers walking together in the Greek Independence Day parade in Montreal. Canada and Greece are actually very like-minded on geopolitical issues and the value that we attach to a rules-based international system, including on issues such as human rights and gender equality. We've had many exchanges on these topics during my mandate, and we very much welcome and support Greece's priorities for their tenure on the UN Security Council. This allowed us to collaborate with Greece as it presented its first national action plan on women, peace and security. In addition, on a very personal note, I will always remember and cherish the immediate collaboration that we received from Greece as Canada had to quickly evacuate its citizens from Israel after October 7th. With this unconditional support, we were able to evacuate via Athens more than 1,700 citizens in less than 2 weeks. As you rightly pointed out, our reciprocal trade of $585 million continues to grow, especially over the last 8 years since the application of the Canada-EU Free Trade Agreement in Greece. And that is continuing in an impressive upward trajectory. Indeed, Canada has long been present in multiple sectors in Greece, such as defense, security, and civil aviation. Now, Canada is also looking to develop further ties in the clean technology sector, where our companies have strong competitive advantage, notably in wastewater management, desalination, and wind energy. And they are well placed to partner in sectors of energy and the green transition in Greece. In addition to trade, our two-way investments are also quite impressive. In Greece, not many are aware that Canada is one of the top investors in multiple sectors, and we'd like to continue to see this flourish. In aerospace, two important Canadian and Greek companies, Aegean and CAE, are partnering to establish the first world-class regional flight training center in Greece. And we expect more collaborations in this area may develop very soon, also with the Ministry of Defense. We are very proud that Greece was the first EU country to acquire the next generation of water bomber planes, essential in combating forest fires due to climate change, a huge challenge faced by both our nations. In addition, Canada has been offering crisis management training to civil protection officials in Canada. And we are poised to do more together, given this common priority, notably through Canada's innovative technologies and expertise in satellite early fire detection. The EU is Canada's second largest trading partner, and the Canada-EU Free Trade Agreement, called CETA, has provided great benefits for companies and investors bilaterally. There has been a 60% growth in goods exports from Greece to Canada since CETA. Greek agriculture and seafood exports to Canada have seen an increase of 84%. Greek wine exports to Canada have doubled, and Canada is the 4th market for Greek wine in the world. Little known fact, feta cheese exports to Canada have also seen a more than 3-fold increase. Canada is also a significant investor in Greece, for example, through companies like Eurobank, Eldorado Gold, Fairfax, and through the Athens International Airport, of which 50% is owed by a major Canadian pension fund. In addition, we're very proud that the Greek multinational Metlin Energy has chosen to invest $1.7 billion in important renewable energy projects in Canada, as they highlight the trust they hold in Canada's stable and reliable economy. In summary, the Canada-EU trade agreement has been hugely beneficial for our two-way trade, but also for investor confidence. With the current momentum in our discussions and the importance attached to preserving stable and reliable partners, we hope that Greece will consider a timely ratification of the CETA agreement to solidify these exports, and to send a message that our countries are poised to increase our trade and trust each other to do business together. Canada and the United States actually have one of the world's strongest and closest relationships, particularly when it comes to trade and border security. We share a strong interest in safe and orderly migration, refugee protection, and in border security. As Canada and countless US stakeholders have stressed, a 25% tariff on all Canadian products imported into the US would be harmful to US consumers, workers, and their economy. Canada is also the largest export market for 36 US states. So we are actively engaging with US interlocutors at all levels to underline this reality and are ready to work together with the US administration to advance our shared economic prosperity and security. The threat of tariffs has been very disappointing and disruptive to this incredibly successful bilateral trading relationship. However, if needed, Canada will defend its companies, workers, and consumers. We are hopeful that through continued dialogue, we can work together to keep these tariffs from coming into effect. On Ukraine, Canada is aligned with Ukraine's objective of ending Russia's war and deterring future aggressions. Ukraine's long-term interest and security must be guaranteed as part of any outcome of negotiations. Its sovereignty must be protected, and the Ukrainian people must be able to choose their own democratic future. There can be no question that Ukraine and the EU should be at any negotiating table to reach a peace settlement agreement. A certain level of engagement with Russia is necessary to bring the parties to the table. However, it's essential that Ukraine be considered an equal partner in any peace talks. Canada is very proud to be home to more than 250,000 of Greek Canadians. As one of the largest Greek diasporas in the world, this community has been crucial to the successes of the dynamic and multicultural society that Canada is today. Greek Canadians are thriving, from influential politicians to successful business people in culture and sports, academia, with some holding key prominent roles as Supreme Court Justice or as ministers and politicians in both the Canadian and the Greek government. Greek Canadians have made an outsized contribution to Canadian society and the economy. During Prime Minister Mitsotakis' visit to Canada last year, the Greek community was out in full force in Montreal during the Greek Independence Day Parade and in Toronto during business forums. The visit served to highlight and strengthen the close ties between our two countries and peoples. In addition, there are many initiatives that foster collaboration and dialogues created by the Greek diaspora through various foundations and groups, such as the World Hellenic Parliamentary Association, the Hellenic Initiative, the Canadian Institute in Greece, the Canada-Greece Chamber of Commerce, as well as through the active participation of the business community in the yearly Canada-Greece Economic Forum, a branch of the Delphi Forum. Finally, please allow me to highlight to your viewers the completion of a new and exciting project. To celebrate more than 80 years of diplomatic relations, Canada has recently completed, in collaboration with the city of Athens, the erection of an Inuit statue called Inukshuk, which can now be visited in Elysia Park, close to the center of Athens. Canada has gifted this unique 3-meter-high pentelic marble statue called Inukshuk to mark the friendship and warm relations between our people. The sculpture from northern Canada was designed by a Canadian Inuit artist and constructed by a Greek marble sculptor. It honors Canada's Indigenous heritage and embodies the fusion of Canadian and Greek cultures. I invite you to visit Elysia Park to discover this imposing Inukshuk, testament of the lasting bonds between our countries.